Yeah. Yeah, whatever, man. Treylow podcast. Anybody out there listening? Whatever. Okay, man. People always want me to continue with this, so hold on. Let me stop my beat. That's one of my beats right there. Intro. My little intro. You can hear me ramble on for about 30 minutes about some crap going on in the world, in my opinion, of the good stuff. I can't say crap. I'm on a probation period. I gotta stop cussing on this thing, man. So if I do this whole podcast without saying one cuss word, it's gonna be a very successful day for me. So that's my goal for this podcast. So I have my pen, my paper here. I should have like a little bell or something. I can just ring it. It's like bing. Oh, you said a cuss word. Today is April 17th, 2021. 2021. I talked a little bit about how you start to say 20 after about right when you get in the tens. I wouldn't even say it in 2012. I would say like 2016, 2017, 2020, 2021. We weren't saying that back in the early 20s. I know damn well you weren't like 2009. So I said a lot about that on the last podcast. So I'm just being repetitive. Anyways, April 17th, 2021. Treylow podcast, DJ Treylow podcast, man. What can I say? Oh, self-promote, whatever. Go get the books, Amazon. Go Google me, Mr. David Patrick Myers, if you want to buy a book. If you're actually listening to this, like a lot of horror stories and stuff. If you're into horror, not everybody likes to read horror. I know this, man. There's some people that like take your book, go back in there. How many times I tell you don't come in here? I told you it never fails. Try to do a podcast, he's always like bugging me. My little 5-year-old over here. Hey, what's going on? Told him, leave me alone for a little bit. Let me do my podcast. So, what I was saying is, I write horror books, right? Not everybody likes to read horror books, but there are some people out there. When you give books out to like personal people that have been knowing you for years, or people that, know who you are, it's kind of crazy, man, because they can't disassociate the stories in the books from the actual person. So then they start looking at you like you're a crazy killer or something. You write a story about a crazy killer. Or I had one story about, had some sexual content in it or something. And everybody's like, yeah. This one dude in my job was like, yeah, man, you write them sex stories, man. You old freaky dude. No. It's a story, man. It's imagination, okay? My life is really boring. If you read the books and think, damn, David's really wild, He's got some crazy killer thoughts. No, those are stories. So I'm just saying with book writing, you gotta find somebody who doesn't associate you as an author, as a person, and associate your books with your character, which is not how it's supposed to be. So usually books are best in strangers' hands, people that don't people that don't actually know you in person. You just hand out a book to a random stranger and he's like, I'll read this. And he reads it and he's like, wow, that guy's pretty good. Or they don't even know who handed them the book. I like dropping these books off in these little book things around my neighborhood, like these little, pick a book, leave a book, little things, carts, because, then they really don't know me. They just like go there and pick up a book. But then check this out, man. I noticed a lot of things about these authors and book clubs and all, and a bunch of like nerdy people that act stuck up. I mean, you go in certain book clubs and they're like, we're not talking about this at our brunch meeting. with our little friends we hang out with. You know what I'm saying? And then they're getting so bad now that you can't even throw a book in a leave a book, pick up a book, because there's one person controlling that little leave a book, pick up a book, and maintaining it. And if that person finds your book not pleasant or to their liking inside their little obstacle out by their streets, they're going to take your book and throw it in the trash. But that's just life, man. You know, they might be like, oh, this little leave a book, pick a book is more children's style books here. Very clean and no cussing or anything like that. So they get your book and they see it in there like, well, what the hell is this? And they start reading a couple pages and they're like, oh, hell no. Throw this up out of here. Get this out of here, man. So it's really hard to sell, horror books and you're not plugged in, like you're not a mainstream author, because people those are the problems right there that come with that. Okay. Let's see here. Hip hop news. This is a hip hop podcast. Everybody knows about DMX dying. And this is the thing I was talking about DMX, man. I'm getting tired. I got social media. I got Facebook. I got Instagram. Okay. And I listen to DMX. I got his first 2 albums. His next albums, they had some bangers on it, but I wasn't like really, really like buying it. Toward like the 3rd or 4th album, I was like kind of like breaking off from that. And then like I watched a lot of his movies coming up. So, but look, I'm just going to be real with you. The last 8 to 10 years, ain't nobody talking about DMX. Nobody cared about the dude. There was no conversation like, hey, bruh, like, you heard that new DMX shit? He might be on Unsung or something where, like, they have all the has-been rappers, or maybe Love and Hip Hop or something. You know what I'm saying? But he wasn't really on that line. He was more like on doing movies with Steven Seagal that were like C-rated movies, like really crappy action movies, and they're just selling it because they got Steven Seagal in it, because their movies are trash. They're not like A-rated movies. It's just something that you watch when there's nothing else to watch. Those kind of movies. So, he wasn't really like under the radar until he passed away. And all of a sudden I go down the street, everybody's like, boom, DMX, man. We're listening to DMX, and they're posting all these videos of him freestyling on social media. And I'm like, to me, that's just kind of like, I don't get that, man. I don't get it when somebody dies. People have to like live off of their attention that they're getting, man. I don't do that. I just don't. Like, that's just not me. Like, if you died and I wasn't like really banging you right before you died, then I'm not going to be like, yeah, man, I'm going to go get that new DMX hits. But he needs it anyways for his family, because he has a lot of kids. So keep doing that. Whoever's doing that, I'm just saying I don't do it. But whoever's doing that, there's a DMX, I think, greatest hit album. Go buy it. You know what I'm saying? If you've not heard of DMX. And then there's also some people that never even listened to DMX. Like these, he just goes way back to 98 or something like that. So, they never even heard of him. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, DMX, who's that? Millennials are all like into their own stuff, and they don't even know all the stuff like that. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm looking at the news here. There's some new news today, April 17th, about Juicy J. So apparently Juicy J was fined 3-6 Mafia members for putting drugs over business. Really, Juicy? As many drugs as you did, as many damn parties you did were popping freaking, Vicodin and all this other stuff. You're going to sit up there and find 3-6 Mafia for putting drugs over business? Oh, really? Led to the death of Lord Infamous members and Kanika. I don't even know how to say it right. Kanika. I'm not saying the N word. It's not spelt that way. So, um, while he mentally refuted, the Memphis natives also gives a little insight on how Juicy J kept everyone in line. Nah, man, none of us actually OD. What does it do with Juicy J? None of us actually OD or no shit like that. We had Juicy. Oh man, that's how you rap. Anyways, he continued. Okay, that was crunchy to explain that. You find out, be right there. We couldn't get fine if we got high, but if we let the drugs get out of the way, the studio show important stuff, set us to do its job. We come behind big shit. Band leader strictness for GCJ helped establish 3-6 Mafias for innovative hip hop groups. First Senator Joseph Jewett, Pioneer Memphis and Perth warned not to take any of the COVID. What? Okay. So I guess Crunchy at first was like, don't take the vaccine. And then he deleted the post. And then he was like, you got to wear your mask and get vaccinated. So whatever. Crunchy Black. Okay, this is another thing I saw was like there was a news about this Eazy-E's daughter trying to do a movie. And she's trying to contact Ice Cube. And Ice Cube's kind of like, I'm not talking to you. So it's kind of like blowing her off and stuff, man. Which is whatever. I guess he feels like. I think of this, man. He did his little biopic, NWA, straight out or whatever, straight out of Compton or whatever. And yeah, man. The dude did his little biop. This dude looks, man. What's this dude right here? Quando Rondo denies being shot at a following interview by King Von. Oh, okay. Well, that's just the news. Anyways, man. I mean, give the biop NWA. He doesn't want to outdo that. And he was such a what's it called? I can't even think of the word. Not instructional or momental. Very important word. Intuitive or some kind, I don't even know the word, part to making that film a success. So I think he don't want to talk to Eazy-E's daughter when she's trying to make a real Eazy-E biop, because it's gonna be like against whatever he put in the actual NWA movie. And if it takes off more than his little NWA biopic, if I don't even know how to do it, it's like what you do in this, a biography, life story, but it's like enhanced. If it takes off more than the NWA movie, there might be a little jealousy, it might be a little controversy there, you know what I'm saying? It might be a little back and forth. So she's trying to get him to talk to him about her dad so she'll get more information for the movie, and he's just like, ducking and dodging her. But this is the thing about Ice Cube, man. I mean, this dude, he's great. He's like one of the greatest at making movies. I mean, he transferred from making good music, to making great movies. You know what I'm saying? Like with Friday, Players Club, all that stuff, man. And he's still making good movies. So the dude is like really, really a genius when it comes to like switching from one, art form to another. So this is the thing. I'm thinking, but even though he's great at doing movies, he's kind of like picky and choosy who he fools with. Like, I heard he's not even talking to Mac 10 no more. And that was West Side Connection. They were like boys for a while, but then they got into it, and somebody said they don't even talk. So it's like maybe he's just like really, really, really picky about who he chooses to talk to, who he chooses to deal with, stuff like that. And if you remember the NWA movie, it kind of painted Eazy in a kind of not very, very good light. It was like all about Dr. Dre and Ice Cube, and Eazy was kind of like with Jerry Heller or whatever, stabbing him in the back, doing low ball stuff. And then he got AIDS or whatever, and then he passed away. But it wasn't really like Eazy-E was like, put in a good light. And to me, Eazy-E was the foundation of that whole group. If they didn't have Eazy-E, they would have been nothing because they had no connection. As far as getting into the music industry, he had all the plugs to get in and get their music going. You can make music all day, but you don't have a platform, and you're not going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And they're great music, but I'm just saying, you don't have a platform, you're not going nowhere. So 4/17/2021, what's been going on with the DJ Treylow? Well, you know what's been going on. Been working, chilling, sitting at home, doing a little music here and there. Trying to accomplish all my goals, I guess, on a weekly basis. Oh, this is what I want to tell everybody. If you sat around all of 2020 and didn't go get your car registration because they postponed it in a lot of states, especially in the state of Texas where I'm at, they postponed it to where they don't enforce it, and then it took them forever to actually make it to where you could go get your car inspected, and then they weren't pulling you over, period, even if you had expired tags. So it was no point to go and get a registration sticker, until they started doing that, until they start enforcing it. There's no point in going down there. Now, my pops was all like, man, that bothers him. Because you got to have everything done according to the rules. He's very, got to follow the rules, man. Follow the rules, Can't break any of the rules, man. He'd stay up all night, and that would just be, racking his brain, man. I got to do this, man. I got to get the paperwork done right when it comes in. So, me, I'm like, well, it's 2020. They're not enforcing, the inspection tags on your vehicle and registration right now because of COVID. So my thing was, I'm just going to wait around. So now comes April 2021. If you don't get your tag now, at the end of this month, by the end of this month, April 2021, they're going to be enforcing tags on vehicles here in Texas, in the state of Texas. Look it up. Government put it all back into full effect. So if you have an expired tag on your vehicle, they will pull you over and give you a ticket. Up until this month, they weren't doing that. So my ass was like, okay, I'll go get my inspection. Went and got my inspection. Had to get up real early for that because all the inspection places this month, what's going on? Oh, there's about 20, 30 cars pulled up if you get there midday. Why is that? Oh, because this is the last month for your tax. So my ass waited till last month. I'm like, oh yeah, you just go get my inspection. No, you can't do that. So I said ass. I don't know if that's a bad word. I should write that down. That's one word for me. Myself. So I finally got my inspection done, and I'm like, damn, that took forever. So I went to do the registration. Don't you know they had a line all the way out in the parking lot for cars? And you sit in that line for 2 hours minimum. Now, if you had the original paperwork that they mailed you, that's why I'm going to make sure I hold on to all my original paperwork because I threw it away a year ago. You can go to HEB, which is a grocery store here in Texas. I don't know if it's in other states, but it's definitely in Texas. And you can do the registration at the customer service window at the front of the store. So whoever's in Texas want to do your registration, they go down to the registration office in Austin, Texas. You're going to get slammed. You're going to be in a line for about 2 hours. And then on top of it, they have police officers or whatever, hired security, or I don't know if they're sheriffs, whatever. They're walking around outside because of that fact, because people get in their cars and think, oh, the line's going to go forward. I got stuff to do. And then they get stuck in a line and they can't get out. And then they're in the line for 2 hours and they can't take their car and drive off. They're stuck. And so they start getting really, really pissed off, really, really irate. And then the fights start happening, or they start yelling and screaming. That's why they have the police out there to stop all that. But I finally got my registration done. I finally got my tags done for my car. So now I'm good for the next year, for 2021. And I'm just giving y'all all heads up out here in Texas that listen to this podcast, or wherever you're at. Check online, man. Even if you're like up there in New York or Maine or Oregon or whatever, check online. Because if you don't check online and find out your state's enforcing, inspection tags on your vehicle this month, and you get pulled over and get a ticket, that's on you. Because you're supposed to stay up with that. So go online and look at, okay, per state, am I getting, because some states don't even have inspection stickers. I know California don't even have them. You don't have to worry about a sticker there. They have it all on their license plate number or something like that. They don't even have to put a sticker on a window, so they're good to go. Okay, this one guy got a lot of freaking, back to hip-hop news. 21 minutes in here, Treylow podcast, DJ Treylow. I'm gonna try to get some interviews here going here in a couple weeks on the phone. Talk to a couple different little artists here and there, so that way it don't just be me rambling on this stupid ass podcast. Oh, stupid booty cop podcast. That's ass twice I used throughout this podcast. But at least I'm not using the bad words, the really bad words like the F word or the B word or the S word. S is like gray area. And now, it used to be when I was growing up, you couldn't get curse words on just cable. You had to get like a special cable channel like HBO or Showtime, Cinemax. Then they wouldn't edit anything out the movie, so you would get all the curse words, all the sex scenes, whatever. It'd be like the actual movie in the theater. But now, you got channels like FX, TNT, Late Night, and they just saying the F word and everything. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, this is television? They showing nudity and everything? I'm like, I know this is cable, but I'm just saying, like, growing up, those channels didn't have that option. And now everybody's like, oh, yeah, we're not bothered by that anymore. It doesn't bother us to see it because, we've been exposed to everything on the internet. It's just like, whatever. Just put the cuss words in. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? So now that's kind of a shocker to me. Other people just like, whatever. It doesn't matter anymore now. But to me, growing up, they couldn't do that. That was outlawed. So, I've been still DJing and still doing my thing. Everybody's going to tablet DJing now. It's not even, that's the new swag, man. You got all these controllers, DJ controllers with these little, they even have like a little part for them, a little pocket. So you can like put your little tablet in a little pocket with your DJ controllers. And, pretty much, your tablet app is controlling all the DJing part, because the controller, you got to remember, it's just like a game controller. You have a game controller in your house, but no game system. What you gonna do with that? Nothing. It means nothing. And that's the same way a DJ controller is. You look at it and you're thinking, oh yeah, it's pretty cool. It's DJ. No, you can't do nothing with that. It's not the brains of DJing. That's just a controller, just like a game controller. And just like a controller, it has one kind of like connector for your microphone, and it's actually in the controller, but I think it gets power juice from the USB, because the controller doesn't really have a plug-in like the wall. So you use a USB to plug into your tablet, and it powers up from that, and then it powers up the what's it called, the transformer or whatever it is inside the controller that gives the it's like a little amplifier that gives the outgoing microphone volume control. Because I don't think that's actually in the program. I think that's in the actual controllers on these DJ controllers. There's a little amplifier in there. It's not that loud, but it's a little amplifier. You plug into your mic, and then it gives you volume control. But look, like I said, I told this guy that DJs all the time, and DJing on Instagram, all this stuff, you can't record those microphone vocals. Use a DJ controller. I've never seen one DJ controller out there that records microphone vocals. It's because the fact is, it's all output. You're using that program on your iPad or on your laptop, and it's pushing the sound out. There is no sound coming back in to record. So it's all output. So you're not recording any micro vocals like the old DJ, and even the old CD, even the CD players that were not old, like the records, the actual mixers. You get a whole bunch of equipment. People don't want a whole bunch of equipment. They want one little nice unit. I mean, they want it so nice. They want a tablet now. They don't even want a laptop. A laptop's too much. I just want a little tablet. And if they could, they probably would put a power strip inside a controller, a tablet connected to the controller, and 2 speakers connected to the controller. That'd be like one super DJ unit that you could use, and you wouldn't have to worry about lugging a whole bunch of stuff. Now, I mean, I like the fact that controllers are like one unit, and you just have to take that, your laptop, your plugs, your power strip, and maybe if they don't have any speakers, you have to bring your speakers to some kind of amplifier for your speakers. Because, you could use your laptop, volume, I guess, on the program, plug it in with a, what's it called? Damn, I can't even think of the, RCA to 3.5 millimeter jack. If you're using an iPad and a freaking iPhone, they don't even have 3.5 millimeter no more once you get the new generation. So you have to get this special Apple cord that's like lightning, from lightning to to RCAs, and then use a special cord to output your sound. But then that's impossible. I don't know how that would work, because then you'd have to have you have to have an output on your you usually have an output on your DJ equipment anyways. So you can output your sound, in the back of your DJ equipment. You might not even need that cord. So I'm rambling on. For all y'all young DJs out there, you want to start up, go get your controller, go get your laptop or a freaking tablet. It's not going to take up a lot of space, not a lot of wires, not a lot of junk. But guess what? Just be aware. You're not going to be able to record your vocals unless you have some kind of alternative way. Because all the DJ programs I've checked out there don't even record vocals. That's like recording programs that record vocals. You know what I'm saying? You have to have some kind of input mic into your actual laptop. So good luck with that, especially if you have a tablet you're DJing off of. You're not recording any vocals with any of those apps. And some people like to record vocals when they're DJing, so they can do a little freestyle session. You know what I'm saying? Get in the booth. All right, man. DJ Treylow Podcast, 4/17/2021. Done rambling on. It's about to close this up. Shout out to all my homeboys holding it down. SRT. Probably going on a little vacation next month. Starting to warm up because it's about to be summer. So it's time to go fishing and get on the beach. I'm an old man now. That's all I do is go fishing places or go exploring stuff. That's all I do. All right. Peace out.